Alrighty. I hope everybody's doing well this day, this Sunday. I hope everybody's having a nice day with their family and loved ones. Yeah, now check this out. I'm back at it again, and it's interesting because when you watch a lot of the talk and listen to what people are discussing um, regarding the election, who they favor, Trump, and you listen to some of the rhetorical stuff that just keeps being repeated. One of the things that keeps being repeated is, and it's been repeated for 4 years, and I really have to tell people that have you ever met, have you ever been in a situation in a room with people where there's maybe four or five, maybe there's you know 10 people or something in a business meeting, right? And somebody new, right? Or somebody who's, yeah, new, I guess you could say that, not too up on everything, asks or makes a stupid statement, and people just go a little silent. They don't say anything in response. Have you ever been in that situation where somebody says something really stupid, but nobody in the room corrects them because what they said that's so stupid kind of like exposes how much they don't know, you know? And this is the thing in politics, in law, and serious shit, you know, people aren't always going to tell you when you say something dumb. And that's just really how it works, especially when you show that you are adamantly against someone just for the hell of being against. People aren't always going to correct you when you're just adamant about being against and you say something stupid. Now, today's stream is called Biden allocated $4 billion to black farmers and minorities, right? And you have to really think about this. Pay attention. You don't hear a lot of people talking about this. You hear a lot of people saying, "Well, what did Kamala Harris do, or what did Biden do for black people?" Yeah, but what did he do for black people? What did he do for black people? And you know that the people saying that don't, or very likely don't know much about the law in the country that they live in. And I'm not saying that black people don't deserve reparations. African Americans deserve reparations. If there's anyone that deserves it, African Americans do. Now, how do you get it? How do you get it? See, if you don't know how to get it, you're not likely, or you're bound to have a much harder struggle. It's going to be a struggle, reparations anyway. It is a struggle, but don't make the struggle harder than it has to be by making your own allies that have been standing with you. Don't make them your enemies by saying stupid things over and over and over and over and over. Don't kick yourself in the ass by being stupid about shit, by going about things stupid. Now, Biden is an example, and you need to pay close attention to this. Any black person that asks, what has Biden done for black people? And they're saying that as a reason to not give him his vote. Like, your vote, man, that only costs you 5 fucking minutes. All you got is five. You complaining about voting for spending 5 minutes to vote on somebody. But here's the crazy thing. A lot of these people that ask these questions, they would rather vote for a straight up racist who hates black people than to actually say, hey, man, you know what? Life is not perfect, but I can see this person here is trying something for me. I may not like it totally. It may not be everything that I want, but being honest means the person damn sure has done a little bit more than the other party. Now, here's the thing: going to the $4 billion allocated by Biden. Do you know what happened to it? Since you want something in a black wrapper, since you need it to be said black, 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 and only black for it to work for you, right? That's the one you're going to vote for. Even though you don't need Trump to say that, you need Biden to say that, right? You don't need Trump to say that. Trump can in your face and you'd vote for him. But you need Biden to say black, black, black before you give him a vote, right? You won't pay attention to what's going on beyond that, right? Because you need the word to be like, it has to be so superficial before you listen and pay attention. What happened to that $4 billion allocated to black farmers? Did you know it? It's not that long ago. It's weeks ago. What, a month ago? This is brand new. What happened to it? Anybody know what happened to it? You can leave it in the chat. Can I find a chat? I'm on my cell phone today. Sorry about that. Can you leave it in the chat? If you know what happened to that $4 billion, leave it in the chat. Because I do. And it's going to be a lesson. It should be a lesson for everybody. And to any time you hear this name, black, 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 what has Biden done for black people? No, it can't be minorities. It can't be minorities. It have to only be black. Right? That's what people have been saying, right? You all don't know that much about the system. You don't know that much about the system. Let me explain something to you. First of all, a president can't even do it. Just in case you dumb motherfuckers didn't know that. There's a process. And a lot of the people that skip the process or are unaware of the process say some of the dumbest fucking things. Some of the dumbest things. And I'm going to ask you again. Do you know? Oh, by the way, the link is in the chat. Anybody want to hop up and say something? Anybody that knows something about this? Because I ain't going to spill it out too fast. I'm going to give people a chance. I'm going to give anybody a chance that thinks they know something about it to come up and utter some dumbass words. And I mean dumb. When you say something dumb, you need to be told so you can stop making an ass out of yourself. Do you know what happened to the $4 billion that Biden allocated just like a month ago for black farmers, or 2 months ago? Not just more, not even more than that. Do you know what happened? He issued that with a pen. Did you know that? He could do it with a pen. Do you know what happened? It's called for black and minority farmers for systemic injustice over the years, over, you know, for a long period of time. Do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? Where the hell is, let me see the chat. Sorry, I got my phone here. Let me go into the chat, try to see what's going on in the chat. What's up, everybody? Can you tell me what happened to the $4 billion Biden allocated to black and minority farmers? Can you tell me what happened? I want to hear from the people that want Biden to do something just for black people that needed to be called black people. I want to see if you know what happened to it. You can leave it in the chat. I don't think people know, because I know a lot of people just talk shit, you know, when they out here in these YouTube streets talking about Kamala Harris and Biden, what did they do for black people? And then they go and vote for a racist like Trump. Do you know what happened to the $4 billion Biden just allocated to black and minority farmers? Do you know? Let me try to find my chat here. Let's see here. That's what we're talking about. If you heard about Biden allocating $4 billion within the last 2 months to black and minority farmers, put a 1 in the chat. Let me see here. I'm going to drop something on you. You should know, though. Here we go. Check this out. Adolf. I don't even know what Adolf's comment is, but I'm going to read it. And here it is. He says there is only one party willing to debate the reparations issues. Funding doesn't come from the White House, it comes from the House Representatives approved by the Senate and White House. Okay, actually, brother, you're right. Which is why I don't even know why a lot of people talking about what has Biden done for black people. Because what you just said defies that logic, right? Yes. But here's the thing. It's even deeper. It's even deeper than that. It's even deeper. It is. Because the reality is that you mentioned reparations. I'm not talking about reparations, Agoff. I'm asking you, do you know what happened to the $4 billion Biden allocated to black and minority farmers just within the last 2 months? Do you know what happened to it? So you flipped it over to reparations. That's okay. I support reparations, but it's good you bring that up because it's going to end up in a similar place. But I take it, hey Andrea, I take it you don't know Agoff, but but um but I hear what you're saying. That's true. It's not something just up for the president. So everybody pay attention to Agoff. Reparations to African Americans in the United States of America is not up to the president. It's not that simple as you might think. But so let's get off the topic of reparations because it's a similar train though, but let's just get off of that. Let's get back to, do you know about the $4 billion Biden within the last 2 months or 1 month allocated to black and minority farmers? Do you know what happened to it? Because he did allocate it. Do you know what happened to it? I'm going to wait like 5-10 minutes and just ask that question and see who pops up. See who knows about it. See who knows what happens to it, because this is going to be a lesson to a lot of the folks that be saying that stuff, without knowing that it doesn't really sound straight what they're saying. Oh, here we go. Agoff dropped another message. Let's read this. A white farmer named Scott Wynn of Jennings, Florida, in May had challenged U.S. President Joe Biden's, thank you, Agoff, exactly, Joe Biden's plans, and he faced farm loans and financial hardship during the pandemic. He said the debt relief program discriminated against him by race because he was white. Yes, thank you, brother. A Trump judge, thank you, brother. Let me give you a round, or sister, Agoff, I don't know, let me give you a round. Let me give you a round of applause. Let me give you a round of applause for being one of the few that actually seem to know how stuff works, even following the news. This is recent news cycle. This is right now. This is going on right now. Guess what, y'all? It's still in court. It's being fought by conservative, let me see here, reps. Let me read you here. And good looking out, Agoff. Appreciate that. That was right on point, because that's exactly what I was getting at. Because people need to know the process and what's going on, and we need to have real conversations based on real shit, not phony stuff. So here we go. Here it is. President Joe Biden's administration did allocate funding to support black and minority farmers. That's in the wording, exactly in that wording. I hope y'all understand that. The word black and minority is in that wording. And if it was just black, it wouldn't make a damn difference, because it would be the same type of response. Now, pay attention. Funding to support black and minority farmers is part of a broader efforts to address racial disparities in agriculture. Specifically, the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, that's the Biden administration, included a provision that set aside approximately $4 billion in debt relief for socially disadvantaged farmers, which includes Black, Native American, Hispanic, Asian American, and other minority farmers. This allocation was intended to help address historical discrimination and financial difficulties faced by these groups in the agriculture sector. The funds were to be used to pay off loans and provide direct relief to eligible farmers. However, it's important to note that this initiative faced legal challenges. That means in the court. Several lawsuits were filed. Several lawsuits were filed arguing that the race-based allocation of funds was discriminatory against white farmers, leading to a temporary halt in the program. Do you support the program, y'all? Black folks, do you support the program? Do you support that program? That Biden, the 4 billion? Do you support the plan, the Rescue Plan Act of 2021 of the Biden administration? Do you support it? Well, some of you don't, right? Period. Because you're not, don't have your head together enough to support it. But the reality of it is that it's been halted in court due to court filings, leading to a temporary halt in the program. As of my last update, the legal battles over this funding were ongoing, and the situation is still evolving. It's being fought out in court, y'all. It's being fought out in court. That $4 billion allocated to Black farmers and other minorities, it's been halted in court. Now, as our brother here just mentioned, there's actually more than one lawsuit that halted it, though. Agoff. Let me get into this here. One, Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, will. This conservative legal organization filed a lawsuit on behalf of 12 white farmers from 9 states, arguing that the debt relief program was unconstitutional because it provided benefits based on race. That's one lawsuit. How many people? 12 white farmers. Second lawsuit against it, the Rescue Act of 2021 of the Biden administration, which was to allocate $4 billion based on discriminatory practices towards farmers, Black farmers, minority farmers. The second group to file a lawsuit, Pacific Legal Foundation, PLF, another conservative legal group. PLF filed lawsuits on behalf of white farmers in several states, including Texas and Florida, as Agoff just mentioned. The foundation argued that the program violated the Equal Protection Clause in the U.S. Constitution by excluding white farmers from receiving the debt relief. Although I don't think that's a good argument myself, because I don't know if anybody knew this, but the Constitution at the time wasn't protecting no Black people. So I don't know what he's talking, what that is about. U.S. Constitution. Black people haven't always been represented under the Constitution or protected under the Constitution in America. All that sharecropping, you know what I'm saying? All that Jim Crow. Now, the third group, Southeastern Legal Foundation. This group also filed a lawsuit on behalf of white farmers, asserting that the race-based relief program was discriminatory and unconstitutional. You can see they're all working together because they all using the same language against Biden's allocating the $4 billion, the Rescue Act for Black and minorities farmers. This is happening now. It got halted. 2021, Biden's in office and he signs that Rescue Act. How come y'all not talking about the people that don't support Biden, the Black folks? The Black folks that's always saying, what has Biden done for Black people? How come y'all not complaining about the conservatives fighting that Rescue Plan Act in court? It's black farmers that need that money right now. That's what the black farmers are saying. They're saying, thank you, Mr. Biden, but we need that money. And why are conservative law firms fighting this and stopping it? Who do you think those conservative law firms support? You think they support Trump or you think they support Biden? You tell me. Trump supporters, black Trump supporters, you tell me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you know. These lawsuits led to a temporary injunctions halting the distribution of the funds as the courts consider the claims. It's being fought out right now. Without your support, black Trump folk, without you all even talking about it, without you all even disseminating the information to your constituency, black Trump supporters. You don't even want your constituency even knowing about it, let alone discussing it. The legal challenges argued that the program's race-based criteria violated the unconstitutional rights of white farmers, which resulted in delays and uncertainty regarding the implementation of the relief program. Agolf, that's very good, bro. I like that. I like that. Let me go back to the comments. You picked up on that. Kudos to you. Kudos to you, 100%. And I give kudos to anybody that deserves it, because that was no laziness on your part at all. So big up to you. You know what I'm saying? And much appreciated to you. Hey, love me fruit. Did you get that, Andre? Did you get that? It's been halted in the courts. It's yeah, the rescue plan for black and minority farmers, the $4 billion, has been halted in court by white farmers, saying that it's discriminatory. So the folks that need something to be wrapped in the language of black, you might want to take that in black and political or black and Biden, what you're doing for black folk. Now you might know what the problem is with the wording. Okay? I hope you understand that when you say, what has Biden done for black people? I hope you understand it now. I hope you understand it now. People are going to fight that language in court. They're going to fight it all the way up to the Supreme Court. Back to Agolf's initial comment regarding reparations. Where do you think that's going to end up? In the Supreme Court. Yes. That's the ultimate fighting grounds for reparations. No matter what Congress does, no matter what the Senate does, no matter what the president signs, someone can make a claim in the Supreme Court. Anything can be challenged by law. And when it's challenged by law, it goes into the courts, the Supreme Courts. So it's just to make people ponder and wonder, is it feasible? Is it rational? Does it make sense to say, what has Biden done for black people? Is that a statement that makes sense? I mean, I can understand you, asking the question, but sticking to that particular language only, legally might be a problem for you getting something, which is why the Democratic Party has been moving in a slightly different direction, saying things, code words to you that you all don't seem to like. Like they've been saying things like, these are things everybody needs. Everybody needs fair access to funding. Everybody needs that, right? We want to make sure everybody gets fair accessing to funding. No, but then you all reply, but what are they doing for black people? Wonder what that's going to end up at. In court? Yes, by some white farmers And so white people saying it's discriminatory. Look at the language. Look at how it's written. Yeah, so these are some trying days. But the first thing you could do is share the information, y'all. You could share the information. If you're black and you support Trump, you could share the information and have a discussion. You could ask, why is the Rescue Act in wording allocated $4 billion for black and minority farmers? Why is it halted? Why is it standing still in court? You could ask that question. You could ask who's stopping it? Why is it stopped? And who even, you know, allocated the money? You could have that discussion. Notice how they don't have that discussion though. Let me see here. Bennett, how should it be worded? Yeah, it have to be worded in a way that gets through the courts. But that doesn't mean the courts are right. I'm not saying the courts are right. To me, if you're dealing with discrimination, systemic discrimination, then in my view, that shouldn't be a problem as long as you can back the discrimination aspect of it up. But you can see how, you know, in some courts just ain't going to go for it. I mean, it's not the first time, because a court doesn't always rule fairly. Let's be honest, right? Courts don't always rule fairly. And you could also ask for it to be overturned or try to get it overturned. But the thing about it is that sometimes it's really if you take these things, once you do something boldly, like allocate funding, and your wording is not, how you structure it is not really well thought out, you could fail, not because the idea isn't good, but because you didn't word it in a way to where it could get past opposition. See, the main thing is that you want to get funding to people, and it's going to involve people, because the courts are people too. The judges are people too. And how they rule, you won't be able to go back and get another ruling on it. See, so it's time consuming, these kind of things. So I think that's kind of the issue about wording this stuff. I'm not saying the wording is wrong ethically. I'm not saying the wording is wrong morally, but it's going to come down to what the courts say about the wording. Is that racism? Is it racism to discriminate, to say white farmers can't get help? No, white farmers don't deserve help. They were never discriminated against, or they don't need to be rescued. It's all about the wording and the specifics. And we could get into that, but let me see here. I hear you. I'm special. Donnie said, I'm special. Okay, let me see. Agoff, Twiller. Washington Examiner. White House student files racial discrimination suit against HBCU seeking $2 million of conservative news. Yeah. 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 But here's the thing. Nobody say discrimination can't work two ways. I mean, I don't think, damn, what is this? White student filed racial discrimination case against Ace. Yeah, I would like to hear about that case, Agoff. I would like to hear about that case. But for people that don't know, you do actually have to let, even into HBCUs, you have to let the same thing that was being applied to white schools, where they say you have to let a minimum of some minorities in, right? This is something conservatives fight, but the same rule applied to black schools. They had to let a minimum amount of non-black people in too. The same rule applied to everybody, So it's going to be interesting to see where that case comes out. White student files. Let me just pin that comment. White student files racial discrimination suit against HBCUs. I think in the US, it's so many people that are fighting against reparations and fighting against the idea that you can correct systemic injustices, discriminatory injustices. There's a lot of people that really are fighting against it. They really just don't want to do it. They just really don't want to do it. even though there's no rational argument against it. Everybody knows that's what you do when you racially oppress people. You pay a form of reparations. Everybody knows that. It should be the same rule for everybody around the world, right? But the truth of the matter is that in the United States and everywhere in the world, Western world, people are fighting that. What people are more in support of is that things like, for example, paid education, free school, things like this. They're more in support of these kind of programs for everybody than to allocate something to um to black people, to a minority, even if that minority has been done wrong. They're against, a lot of people are against it. And the law can say one thing, but people are fighting the cases. People are the judges. And you, as you know, by the Supreme Court of the United States of America, they can be biased, extremely biased. So when you're in a country where you have a court system that's extremely biased, by the way, Kamala Harris was not a judge, just to let you know, just so you don't blame that on her too. She wasn't a judge. But when you live in a country where the court system is inherently biased, cases like this are really hard to get through, to get past. But let me ask you a question. If it does, if the Biden administration wins that case and that $4 billion does get allocated, what would you say to him? Would you say that he did something? Or would you say, ah, it wasn't enough, man? It wasn't enough. I'm voting for Trump. What would you say? But that's looking ahead. My point today is, where do you stand on it, Black Trump supporters? Do you want the Biden administration to win this case in court, or do you want them to lose? Do you think the Rescue Plan Act of 2021 that allocated $4 billion to black and minority farmers, do you stand for that, Black Trump supporters? Are you in support of it? Or are you against it? Speak your minds. Speak your minds, Black Trump supporters. Are you in support of the 2021 Rescue Act for black farmers and minorities, or are you against it? That's what I want to know. Since y'all be talking all that shit, are you for it or against it? Or did you just not fucking know anything about it at all because you don't fucking read the newspaper? You know? I mean, what's up? Did I drop the link? Let me drop the link here. Yeah. Did I drop the link? Let me know if the link got dropped. Hold on. Okay, I can see the link didn't get dropped. How do I drop it? Um, okay, you know what I think I gotta do? I gotta do it like this because I know some of y'all might want to hop up. Feel free to hop, even though don't get me wrong, my tone might be a little off, but yo, I want answers. And some of these Black Trump people be ignorant as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. And when I hear too much of that stuff, I just be like, damn, man, why do I have to respond well to people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about? Like, why do I have to respond well to rude ass people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, or too lazy to do any research when their life depends on it? Why do I have to be nice about that shit all the time? You know? Like, let me see something here. Okay, invite guest. I'm on my phone, y'all, so that's why I'm trying to okay. So if I go like this, hold on. I know what I gotta do. I'm gonna type it in. I'm gonna type it in the other chat here. 2 seconds, y'all. To HTTP. I believe it's HTTPS. Yeah, secure. It must be. All right, then this. Okay. And then it's, let's see here, stream yard.com. Yeah, I'm on my mobile phone today. Let me see. I actually like doing it this way a little bit better. B45, although it's not good for Oh, it's actually good for showing videos. I'm gonna show a video real quick, but it's not good for playing links. That's the only thing, YouTube links, but that's okay. HZKJ. Let me know, somebody. Hop up. Let me know if this link works right here. Anybody want to hop up and speak your mind? Feel free. On the topic of Biden allocating $4 billion to Black and minority farmers. That was in 2021, by the way. The newspapers didn't really catch up on it. Black Trump supporters didn't really catch up on it. Um, but it's in court right now, being fought by conservatives, saying that it's racist. And so soon we're going to get some kind of, hopefully hopefully they've been challenging it for a minute now, but let's see where it goes. I have no idea when the verdict is going to come out. But let me see. Trump gave 80 million to HBCUs during his term. Biden and Harris gave 16 billion, which was 16 million. Which is 16 million. It's not even close. Trump double Black. No, that's not true. Double Black unemployment. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Biden and Harris cut it in half. I mean, yo, I forget the numbers. Biden and Harris gave 16 billion. Yeah, you're right, bro. You're right. That's what it is. And a lot of people don't know that. And keep in mind, this is what was owed HBCUs. This is not even something that was like a handout. This was money already owed that people don't want to cough up. Didn't want to cough it up, And it's the same thing with this one around, discrimination, in other words, according to the Supreme Court and according to a lot of the courts and according to a lot of people in the United States of America, and not only the United States of America, discrimination on this level, systemic, is kind of looked at as a, oops, sorry, I did it again. It's not really looked at as a, oops, I've been fucking your life up. You've been fucked up. Y'all been systemically fucked up for generations, and we need to correct and do something about that. You need some reparation for that. It's not looking that way. The people, they're just not respecting the human rights and civil rights, and not for some people. And that's the way it is. But to blame that on Biden and Harris is ignorant as hell. It's just a total, complete falsehood. And you have to give people a little bit of respect when they're trying to do something. You got to recognize it. You have to recognize it, because if you don't recognize it, you're basically telling them that they shouldn't fight for you or shouldn't fight for the issue. And I really think a lot of these Black Trump supporters are like crash dummies, designed to fuck things up for everybody else, including Black people, not really having a goal in mind or a destination, just to wreak havoc on everybody. You ever had a job that you had to do? You wanted to complete the job. You were excited about the job. You planned to get the job done. You did all the planning. You got all the supplies. You worked out the logistics, everything. But one of the people that you hired to work with you on the project just always found a way to be passive aggressive about shit. They say they're going to do something, but it just never gets done on time, or they just can't figure out how to do it right, or that's kind of like Black Trump supporters. They're passive aggressive. They don't have a plan for shit. They just don't want anybody else to get shit done. You know what I'm saying? And they want to complain. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. It's called the no doer party. The groups that just don't want to do nothing but complain. And it's really getting out of this world right about now. Let me see here. Republicans need to stop leaving the economy, bro. They sabotage the economy, bro. You know this. How old are you, Agoff? You know, I'm 55. So I'm old enough to know that every time Republicans get into power, they fuck up the economy. And then a Democrat has to get in power, fix the economy, and then people are like, yeah, but how come you didn't also do this? It's like, yo, if you always have to fix what someone else destroyed, you never get around to doing what you want to do. That's the story of the Democrats in the last 30 years. Excuse me, 2 seconds. I see you. You there?
So
You there, Andrea? How you doing?
I'm here. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, you see what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hear about that? How come you think the Black Trump supporters ain't talking about the Rescue Plan Act of 2021 Biden Harris administration?
Well, because they don't, they want to hold on to their narrative. It's just amazing to me how these uh, non-black people want to holler about the stuff that the government is trying to give when they weren't hollering when they were getting it. When they were getting all the free subsidies and all this kind of stuff for their farming and all that kind of stuff, they weren't hollering then.
Hmm.
When big government was out there to help them to their farms and do all this, go to school, the whole 9 yards, nobody was hollering. The GI Bill, the black that our black vets didn't get that. They were mistreated when they came home from Vietnam War and World War I and II. All the stuff that the government gave them to pick themselves up because they told us to do it by our own tracks, but they didn't do that. They didn't go out there and do those things to make their family secure and safe. They got free land that didn't belong to them. They got all this free stuff, all this free help. But now that
Hmm.
they want to give it to us, all of a sudden they want to holler, and them same black folks out there hollering about what somebody wasn't doing. They didn't do a damn thing for us back then to equal the playing field then, and they are still not doing that. It's the same. It's the same game, different people. Same game, same policies that they want to keep trying to push through to keep us out of being successful in whatever area of life we want to get into, because there's still not enough of us out there in these corporations that are causing all these problems in our communities. It's just not happening. So they want big government when it's controlling other people, but they don't want it when it comes to them. They don't.
Exactly.
The person who was hollering about, oh, I got discriminated against at an HBCU. Was that Rachel Dolezal? Is that lady, or is it somebody new because she wasn't black, but she pretended to be black, and then when things didn't go her way, she sued the HBCU for what she felt that didn't happen for her when she wanted it to happen. I mean, I'm just curious. Who was it? She
Yeah.
perpetrated a lie that she was black. She perpetrated that, was out on the front lines, and black power, black power, black power, until they discovered she wasn't, and then it became a problem, right? So I'm just curious as to, why.
Yeah, she was a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, all this anti-black hate is ridiculous, and when it comes to us hating on ourselves, that's problematic, very problematic, because none of them Negroes out there who are hollering like that accomplished what they accomplished on their own. None of them. You didn't get that cushy job because somebody thought your black was beautiful. You didn't do that. So I don't care what job. I don't care if you're your own business owner. You didn't get that because somebody thought your black was beautiful. Okay.
Hmm.
So don't do all that. Don't hate on yourself, and then turn around and make that hate towards our people because you think that you got what you got by your own merits. That's a damn lie, because they still had some places where affirmative action was still in place, and that's another thing too. It's a mind-boggling problem with nepotism. Just like Michelle Obama said in that speech, the affirmative action of nepotism. That's exactly what that is, but they don't want to call it for what it
Hmm.
is. To me, when these
Oh,
billionaires and
she
stuff
said the
there,
affirmative action. She said the affirmative action of generational wealth.
generational wealth, that's the same thing. Nepotism. That's how it happens, right? Some look at that fool. That fool hired his children. They weren't qualified to be in no position in government,
Hell no.
but he
Nope. Out
hired
of their
his
league.
family to come in there and wreak havoc. It's the same generational wealth, nepotism, all same to me. But they don't have a problem with that. It's just, I call them the socialist welfare recipients. That's what those millionaires and billionaires are. They have their socialist class that they want the government to support. That's what that is. And I'm a keep calling them welfare recipients, whether they like it or not. You all are socialist government welfare recipients, and you know you want the government to support you just like other people want to be supported by the government. You don't want them to. You call what we get entitlements, but what you got? What did you do? What have they done for the country? I mean, seriously, you got companies now because of that fool who pulled back all these regulations, or they've been doing it even with regulations, but now they got full-fledged permission to dump stuff into our waters, put stuff into the air, do stuff to our food because they don't give a damn. But our tax dollars go to them, and these people just, they didn't earn a damn thing. They haven't done anything for anybody. They have been living off the backs of the taxpayer dollars. And these companies can sit back and say they can say that all they want to. At the end of the day, they know that the lie that's being perpetrated out there is exactly that. And if you want to keep believing, and this is not even about Democrat or Republican, just if you remove the names, remove the affiliation, and you just post it up there what people stand for without you knowing who they are. Ask yourself, who would you vote for? Remove everything. Remove all that you know about them and just paste up there. And you tell me who you would vote for, then I guarantee you it would not be for that fool on the other side. I guarantee you.
Yeah, it's interesting how that it's interesting. I just think it's really strange. This point, I mean, it's really crazy when you have look, oh my God, I should have uploaded this. In fact, I'm gonna start uploading it because I'm gonna do more of these segments on my phone, right, instead of the computer, but that way I can just chill back. But I mean, you have a black man, Mark Robinson. This is 2024, right? Same thing with this case. It was allocated. The money was allocated in 2021 for black farmers and minority farmers, right, by the Biden-Harris administration. It's being fought in court, so the money hasn't been released. They're waiting for a verdict on it. Conservative PACs have fought against it in court, have raised money, taken it to court to try to, it has an injunction on it. So the money hasn't been put out because they're trying to say that it's racist to do it. They're calling the Biden-Harris administration racist for allocating $4 billion to black and minority farmers. Conservatives are calling the Biden-Harris administration racist for allocating $4 billion to black and minority farmers. While you have that going on, they tried to, get that done in 2021, and it's still in court now, being fought by conservative judges. At the same time you got that going on, you got a black man named Mark Robinson that got the nerve to go out there on stage and say, if anybody deserves to have or should be paying reparations, it should be black Americans that should pay it. It's them that owe. Can you believe that? Like, what's going on? What's going on? Is there a black man that sick in the head?
And and another thing I don't like either is when they say we're just, those of us who are going to vote for Kamala, that we're voting for her because she's black. Well, what the fuck are you voting for him for then? What you didn't want any black folks to ever get into, to have that black job? I mean, what, they were not qualified? I'm confused. I'm confused about that. When people tell me, when I heard that when Obama was running, oh, you're just voting for him because he's black, you're damn skippy. I am. And what the problem is, because all I can see with you is you're voting for them because they're white. Let's flip the script.
Exactly. And you know something? It's projection, that statement, because I'm gonna tell you, I don't vote for anybody because of their skin color. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
Shit, what the fuck are you talking about? I didn't vote for Obama because he was black. I was happy that he was, I was happy for the history. I was happy for the country that it was, because I knew that if you have diverse leadership, it makes everyone in the society want to do their best. It makes
Mhm.
everyone in society believe the society is also for them too. You get the best out of everybody. That's why I was happy. I also was happy because it's holding up a lot of things, man. People don't want to sit back every day and have to live with the fact that, damn, we're this fucked up. We can't even have one black president. And this is what people are thinking today too. A lot of people today, they're thinking the same thing about Kamala Harris. They're saying, damn, we're so fucked up. We can't even have one woman without them slinging mud at her. And look who they're
Yeah.
slinging mud. They're slinging mud at her, and they ain't slinging no mud at Trump. And Trump is the
Mhm.
pervert. Trump is the
Mhm.
criminal. Trump is the one who will rape your mama. Trump is the one who will
Mhm.
rob you, kick you out on the street, and they ain't got no words for him. All the
Mhm.
dirty words are for Kamala Harris, and she worked her ass off to get where she is. And they have the nerve to disrespect person that works their ass off. Like,
Mhm.
oh,
Oh,
it's
but she
terrible.
didn't.
It's
She didn't get where
Yeah,
she
they
got.
say she
She
didn't.
slept her way to the top. Yeah, they say she slept her way to the top. I mean, it's
Yeah,
you
and,
know,
and
it's
and
just
you know something? You know something? You know something? Yo,
go ahead.
people need to stop. They need to stop saying those things, because the thing about it is that somebody's going to knock your kneecaps out talking shit like that about people, and it's
Mhm.
like, just, you don't have the right. I mean, you might think you have the right. You might think you have the right to lie and just talk down, say hateful things to people like that. But let me tell you, karma is a mother. Karma
Yes.
is a mother. And it's
So
terribly wrong to say that about that woman.
so my them though. So none of them men fucked their way to the top with another man. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. I mean,
A
do
lot
we
of
need to
them
go
did.
run some history on some?
Puffy did.
Yeah. I mean,
Puffy slept his way to
they,
the top. What the
in
fuck?
them circles up there. I'm so sick. I'm so sick of hearing that becomes a clarion cry. Oh, she slept her when she didn't get it because she earned it.
Hey, but
well,
look,
but
and check this out. But what about all the men that sexually harass women when they want a
mhm,
fucking job? What about
mhm,
them? What about
mhm,
that part? You know what I'm saying? It's like, so you're
mhm.
gonna blame the woman? Even, I mean, I'm not even. I just think it's bullshit to even say that. How
Yeah,
you can't sleep your way that far in the first damn
yeah,
place. What the fuck are you talking about? You
yeah.
can't. If you now, if you are Trump, he's not a lady. He's not a lady. First of all, and every president has been a man. So that should tell you that there's something skewed right there. But to suggest that that under all that discrimination, it's so easy for a woman to get to the top. All she got to do is sleep her way there to the presidency. You suggest it's that easy?
Mm.
All this wrong. You
We
could
would have had a
sleep.
whole lot more women presidents, guaranteed.
Look,
If it
it
was
ain't
that
that much
easy.
sleep. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It it just don't make any sense. You know what I'm saying?
None.
It's like, you, if that's the case, that's going to be a hard road, because what about if people just sleep with you and throw you out?
Mm.
What about that? What about that plan? You know what I'm saying? There's no guarantee you're going to become president. Who makes that deal? You sleep with me, I'll let you be president.
Yeah. It's like stop it. Stop it.
It's like,
That
damn.
is so annoying. But I'm gonna
It's
go like
big.
when
It's misogynistic. It's
it is.
misogynistic.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say,
It's
the
like,
first time Obama ran I voted for just because he was black. I didn't care about all the rest of the stuff.
yo,
That's exactly what I did. The first time, that's exactly what I did. And didn't make no difference to me. And when they said that, yeah, that's exactly what I did. I said, and y'all gonna vote for that old dumb John McCain and Sarah Palin? Yeah, you want those two dummies? Yeah, yeah, no, I did it just because he was black. Yep,
and
and
what
I tell
about
him all the
Stormy
time. I don't care.
Daniels?
Yeah,
This,
no,
what about, did she sleep her way to the top? Look at this.
yeah.
Look at what Agoff wrote. if a woman could sleep their way to the top, there would be a hella woman at the top. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's,
Exactly.
how come that
Ah,
shit ain't never worked before? You know what I'm saying?
eh, exactly. Dumbass. People are so stupid. And I don't understand this obsession with all of that. Every time it comes to something like this, it always has to be some sexual, in context to anything that people accomplish, or black people anyway. Hell, you got to do every damn thing. But
Yeah,
whatever,
it's
you know,
misogynistic. It's
it is.
misogynistic. You know what I'm saying?
It's
It's just
hateful.
it's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, it's the worst kind of hate. In fact, it's
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for a man, in my view, for a man, it's the worst kind of hate. Racial
Mm-hmm.
discrimination is whack, but for a man, because as a man, you get racial discrimination, but women get racial discrimination and gender discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
So as a man, you still going to feel bad about gender discrimination, but gender bias, misogyny. You're going to feel bad about that because like, damn, not only is this lady going to get it because of her color or her ethnicity, she's also going to get it because of her gender. And that's a double
Yep.
wrong. Men don't
Yep.
have to face that. Black men don't face that double wrong like that. You see what
Yep.
I mean? And no, not
Yep.
that
It's just.
not that it's nice facing any kind of discrimination, but you know, it's just nice that you don't have to face two things as a man, as a black man. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
women do have to face it, and that's just a part of life of being a woman. And women accept that. Women know that's how it is. Women have to sometimes turn the other cheek sometimes when because if you try to fight that all the time, fight off misogyny all the time, if you try to take it on head on every time, you might not get as far. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's that deep, it's that prevalent. As
Mm-hmm.
you've heard plenty of misogynistic statements,
Mm-hmm.
Andre. You see what I mean? Just being on YouTube, and you got to pick your battles. You got to know the ones where you address and the ones where you're like, okay, well, all right, well, okay, we're gonna see, but
Yeah.
that's life for women. You know what I mean? And but in any case, for people
And
that didn't know, the Biden Harris administration, they did actually allocate $4 billion to black farmers and minority farmers. 2021, soon as they got into this administration, and it's been fought in the courts. It's being fought in the courts by conservative law firms representing white people, saying that it was racist to try to allocate that funding. Now, isn't that crazy? Like, imagine, imagine me, imagine, let's say the funding was for women and discrimination, Andrea, right? $4 billion for women in business in America because of the historic systemic discrimination women have faced in the country, right? Suppose there was
mm-hmm.
$10 billion allocated, and then a black man stood up and was like, "Nah, I'm against that. I'm against that.
It would
No,
go
no, no,
through.
no.
It would go
I'm against that. I don't support that. I don't support that." You know, can
through.
you imagine that? Can you imagine? But but that's just what we face in here. That's discriminatory to give women that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's discriminatory. You're discriminating against me as a man in America.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's going on. The white folks are
Yeah.
like, that's discriminatory. You giving black farmers, you giving
Yeah.
black and minority farmers $4 billion when we got 20 billion yesterday. That's
Mm-hmm.
discriminatory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like that doesn't make any damn sense. Yeah,
None.
but it's going to be interesting to see how far the case goes with the verdict is, and that's the wonderful part about court, is because when it does go to court, the argument has to be made in writing. It's all written down
Mm-hmm.
exactly how it came out, and everyone who wants to know is going to find out, win or lose. They're going to find out why somebody won the case or why somebody lost the case. They're going to hear exactly what the arguments were, and they're going to hear exactly what the judge's ruling was.
Yeah.
You
And
see
me
what I mean?
personally,
So,
yeah, I think too that some of these men and our black men out here are They don't like it when a woman does well. It intimidates them for whatever reason. There is no reason for anybody to be upset about people going after their goals or achieving their goals or whatever. But I just think a lot of black men are insecure, and they think that fool on the other side is Mr. Macho Man. Oh, and maybe they want to grab women by the pussy. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But they think that if they think that's a representative of what a man is supposed to be, they didn't get no good home training then, because I don't understand that mindset. I mean, why would you want to not get everything the government did this to black people? The government did it. It wasn't individual white people. The government placed all these restrictions on how black people move in this country, where you live, where you work, what you get. The government did it, and the government owes black people. It ain't
Yep.
whoever. It's the government, and whoever's in that government. I don't care who's in it today. The government owes black people, and we just haven't gotten to the point where we got the right people in government places yet to make that happen. But it's the government that owes, and these people need to get off their goddamn high horse thinking that we're not owed these things because you didn't, like that dummy who's saying you didn't go through your grandparents, you didn't go through what your grandparents went through. Well, we're going through a whole nother kind of stuff. Every generation goes through something that their generation is having to face, and it's some of it's still pretty much the same. It's got just a different label put on it. It's pretty much the same. We're not getting beat, but we're getting shot more, right? There's other things that are happening more than what was happening when some of our relatives are getting lynched and stuff. It's just a different type of lynching that's taking place, right? Whether it's you being thrown to the ground for no reason whatsoever, whether it's you being punched, I don't care what it is, whatever it is that they're doing, it's the government that owes black people. And all these other folks just need to get up off that high horse and stop hollering about what is owed, because we shouldn't have to go through it. Shouldn't be this hard to make a living for your family. It shouldn't be this hard. Shouldn't. And they know that. They know that something's got to give, because there's no reason for us to be not paid a full dollar. Why are we not make?
You still there, Andrea? I think your net got a little shaky. But let me drop the link. Let me see here. Did I drop the link? Oh, okay, that link worked. Go ahead. Okay, you back now, right?
I'm here. I didn't. Can you hear me?
Yeah, because your internet got a little shaky. Now I can hear you though. I can hear you now.
No, I was just saying that there's no reason why everybody shouldn't make a full dollar. Why should black people or women make less than $1? Why? That gap in pay, just 20 cents over years, is a lot of money. But they don't look at all these disparities that we've had to put up with over the years. The same thing with the Lilly Ledbetter Act. All that kind of stuff is trying to close that wage gap, because there's really no justification today for nobody to make a full dollar. There's no justification for that, except for them trying to keep us where we are, whether it be women or people of color. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah, it's no excuse. It's no excuse. I just hope people, as far as this current election, because that's the one we're dealing with right now, and that's the one that can it can be a part of a big change in the country, and I believe so. I believe so, and I think, I've had to also look inward myself and question myself, because I didn't always have the sophisticated understanding about how things work. I used to have a very simplistic understanding of how things work, and I used to say things that indicated that. You see what I mean? And a lot of the things that I used to say, maybe, or ideas that I had, now maybe I wasn't rude. Now I wasn't rude about it, but it was just simplistic. So I could maybe 15 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, 15, maybe 10, 12, something like that. 15 years ago, I would say I could also maybe share a really cut and dry or black and white opinion about, how if this person would, if they wanted to do this, they could get it done, they would do it. Oh, let me give you an example. Obama, a lot of people expected Obama to use executive orders much more, to allocate reparations. That was one of the things. As a matter of fact, I'm glad I'm remembering this, because this is some time. This is 10 years ago, right? uh what, 12 years ago now, when Obama was coming in
In
office, or 12 years
2009,
ago.
that was what, 15 years, 15 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, it's some time ago,
15.
right? But I remember when he came to his
Mm-hmm.
second administration, his second presidency. Um, I was upset because I thought Obama should have used the pen more. I thought he should have did the executive orders. I was like, yo, that was your time to settle this racial thing. You black man, you supposed to do something about this. You have, that was your chance. You in office now, so sign the reparation paper. Do it executive order. Actually, the executive order is not necessarily the last you will hear of that. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
in the court. And I think these people discuss this stuff a lot more than they let on to the public. And I think sometimes the public gets frustrated because they're not part of the conversation, on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
the maneuvering, just because you think something doesn't mean you say something. Just because you have a plan doesn't mean you indicate to others what your plan is. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think on the outside, for an average person or even a young person, well, maybe not average person, I to some, let me just say it this way, because it has nothing to do with being young or average. To some people on the outside, it just looks like they ain't thinking nothing, don't have any thoughts about it, aren't concerned at all, and he was black. He should have just got it done. You know what I mean? That's simple. It's that simple. That's how things work. But I think what they're going to find out, the more engaged they are, the more you find out that it's not. I wish it was that simple, but it ain't that simple. And you have to preserve a little bit of space so that you don't judge people that are actually really trying to get things done. Even if you don't hear them enough, you should know that a lot of these people hear your voices and do have concerns. But you got to follow the politics every day. You got to
Mm-hmm.
follow every law that gets written in Congress and that gets passed in the Senate. Follow the details. What's in these laws, in these bills that they're passing? What's in these bills exactly? And that takes a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't have the time to be so informed. A lot of people going to work every day, but that's okay. That's one thing to not be informed, but to be so goddamn belligerent about things. You don't have to be informed to understand talking about Kamala Harris's mother is disrespectful. You don't have to know that half of these things they're saying about her are just totally foul, wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and it is just beyond the pale to do these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even, some of it is just people are just being flat out what? Disgusting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so you could be wrong without being disgusting. You could be wrong without being
Yep.
foul as hell. You could be wrong without making enemies out of from people that really do care. You could be wrong without doing all those things. But these people want to be foul as hell. I don't even know if they want to be wrong. They just want to be foul. All right, but they want
Mm-hmm.
to be foul as hell. And I think
Mm-hmm.
the country needs to move beyond that. You know, I would like the country to move beyond that. I don't have an issue with talking about racism, gender bias, or any other biases. One of the reasons why I like the Democratic Party is because it's inclusive. You don't have to like everybody in the party. For example, I'm not gay, so I'm not looking to have a way to be gay in society, in the class. at work. I'm not looking for that myself, but I'm not holding somebody else back who might be looking for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whatever kind of way they have it, I don't know what, I'm not saying there's a unilateral type of gay person, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing for others. I'm not Indian. I don't know what discrimination Indian person might face, right? But I don't have anything against them seeking justice. You see what I mean? Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I like about the Democratic Party is more based on, hey, I recognize we all can recognize each other and do some things together that we all benefit from. And whereas though the Republican Party doesn't recognize anybody, you know, they don't want to do nothing for nobody,
And
everybody's
they,
wrong,
and they
you
want to
know.
say they're conservative. No, they're not. They're not conservative. They're not. They're not conservative at all.
Oh, you
How
breaking up, Andre?
I'm
You breaking up?
still
You
breaking
hear me?
up.
You breaking
Okay.
up? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can hear
But
you.
I heard you. You said they want to
Is
say
that
they're
better?
conservatives. Yeah, yeah. It's better now.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how
But
they can say that, right? They want all these $1 trillion tax cuts. They always put money into the military that we got all this money to do all these other things, but take care of the reparations that should be paid back. I mean, how do they justify that? I'm always perplexed with that. How do you say you're a conservative? What does that mean to them? Because they're not the only ones who are conservative when it comes to spending money and stuff like that. You don't have to be a Republican to be a conservative, but you can't be a Republican and conservative and then you want to cut the government so you can put more money in your pocket. You want to cut the government, except for those areas that they can make money because you can make money on war, right? The more the more
hmm
money you can. These companies that go out there and get these contracts, they
oh,
make that wealth
the
of
war.
money.
Yes, yeah. The war is about the billionaire class. That's what the wars
Mm-hmm.
are about. It's
Mm-hmm.
about the billionaire class going out there
Yeah.
protecting that $1 billion industry in another part of the world that happens to be an American company. That's what the war
Mm-hmm.
is about. Protecting
Mm-hmm.
the contracts, protecting the assets. The assets are the business dealings. You know what I mean? And but they want to act like that's not often. And damn well Trump is not trying to pull the military out of a damn thing. Not really. No,
Mm-mm.
no, no. That's some bullshit. That if Americans don't know this, the military is out there protecting the U.S. trade, and the U.S. trade is the biggest in the world. It's that simple. You see what I mean? If they weren't out there protecting that trade would disappear overnight. Somebody else would have that oil deal. Somebody else would have that contract. Straight up. That's what it is. It is it's no two if ways or ands about it. That's just what it is. And somebody else going to do it if the US is not going to do it, you know? But yeah, it's a conundrum. That's another aspect that a lot of people we don't seem to want to accept that things aren't as easy as we think. The world is not necessarily the way we want. You think you're just going to pull back the military and everything's going to go fine. Yeah,
Right.
just pull back. Just you don't need to have the upper hand anymore. Just the pull back because that if we do that, then people won't be so angry at us. No, 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 because they're only angry because they want more power and somebody's standing in the way.
Right.
you know, and if the shoe was on the other foot, what do you think they be doing? You know what I'm saying? you know, it's crazy out
Mm-hmm.
there. The world is just. Sometimes I think as bad as people have it in America or in the world, anywhere in the Western, but particularly America, as bad as a person might have it in the U.S. Sometimes I think they don't realize how bad things are in other places.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the arguments, and not just there. I walked down the street the other day. I don't have anything against Iranian people. My doctor's Iranian. You see what I mean? My own doctor is Iranian, highly intelligent, great person. Came to Washington D.C. before, loved D.C. Said it was some of the nicest people he ever met. He was so shocked. He was surprised, right? Um, but when it comes to the government and the right wing, I was walking down the street the other day. Oh no, just today, past the subway, and I saw this big spray painted sign on the wall of the subway that said something like, "Yeah, stand up for Iran." And I was like, "Who the hell stand up for Iran?" Like, okay, I never heard of that one before. Stand up for Iran. Look, you know, there's people that think that they have different opinions about Iran. Uh, but stand up for Iran. Do you know what they do to women? Do you know what's going on in Iran? Like, do you really think Iranians are all happy about the government? You know,
Mhm.
I mean,
And they want to take, and this
you,
country, and these people want to take us backwards. I mean, make that make sense to anybody on any given day. You want to take us backwards. I mean, they want to take us back. That fool in North Carolina said he wants to take it back to where women don't have a right to vote and all this other kind of stuff. I mean, they want to go back that far. They don't want to just, they want to change the 19th Amendment. They want to go back that far because they know we make a difference when it comes to voting, you know, because, what good is
that's
it going to do?
crazy.
There's not enough brothers to make a difference, not enough people called to make a difference according to, the makeup of the United States. So what, again, it's just mind-boggling that and I'm telling you, I think some of these men want women to be in that position so they can have a right to beat the shit out of us, like, because it wasn't against the law until the 1970s that you can beat the hell out your damn wife and kids and shit like that. It wasn't against the
Yes.
law. So
Nope.
they want to go back where they can beat the fuck out of us anytime they want to. And all, I mean, what the hell? What woman in her right mind would want to go back underneath that type of tyranny? I mean, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Black women or
How do
any
you?
other woman, why would you want somebody to have that kind of power over you again? You're
And
idiots if you want to do that. I'm sorry. I know we shouldn't call people in, but I'm sorry. I can't. There's no other word that I can use to describe why you would want them to take away your rights as a woman and take you back to where they can beat your ass.
yes, and then to have a woman even say, "I'm voting for that. I'm voting for
Mm,
Trump." You know what I'm saying?
mm,
It's like,
mm,
wow. It's really surprising. It is surprising to see that. And I think it's crazy because yeah, I've seen it too. Like on one hand, a person could argue about somebody being a rapist and a pedophile, and then they vote for Trump after that. It's like,
mm.
what? Like you spend all this time arguing about rapists and pedophiles, and then you go vote for Trump?
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
It's,
Like you just screwed all that up. Like
yeah. I mean,
that's the world,
like I
folks. We
said,
live in.
it's just perplexing to me. I don't understand how anybody would want any like it's clear for me. Now I'm not so engaged or involved or whatever to where it's like I'm just obsessed with this election and stuff like that. But when you look, like I said, when you look at what's being presented to you, and remove everybody's name and political affiliation, and then you ask yourself, who would you vote for? Who would you vote for? If you didn't know who those people were, who would you vote for? And I guarantee you they wouldn't be voting for that fool over there. I guarantee you. But people don't want to do the hard work. That's hard work to really go inside yourself, to really say to yourself, you know, what how is this going to be good for me? Uh-oh. And then you're not there, BB. I don't know where you went. Did he somebody tell him he's not there? Anyway, he left me up here by myself. Where did he go? Mhm. But anyway, as I was saying, I just don't understand why people would want to do that. What if what you're doing is not good for me or for other people? I don't understand how people are voting for the other side when it's going to hurt people more than it's going to help people. I don't get it. So it's just mind boggling. I don't know where he went. Where are you, baby? There you are. Is that me?
You there? Sorry about that,
Huh?
Andre.
Yeah.
I fell out.
You put me on center stage by myself. What's wrong with you?
Take over, Andre. I'll be back.
No, don't do
I gotta go
that.
pick up a pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, but I appreciate your conversations and stuff. Your commentaries is just always good. You give people stuff to think about, and I do appreciate that. You know,
And I appreciate you too. And also I appreciate, everybody that's coming through. It's we gotta have these conversations and we gotta have it with reasonable minds because I mean, just think about this. Look, and everybody should know this. I mean, I wish somebody told me about the farming. I didn't know about about this the rescue plan. I didn't know about it for farmers. I didn't know about it at all until like maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that, right? I had no idea. And kudos to the Biden and Harris
hmm
administration. You didn't hear them speak a lot about it, but this, you see, this is the funny thing. When you hear people say, "Is my audio still good, or did I go
hmm
out?"
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. You hear people saying all the time, often, or maybe I should cut the camera off. It might work better. Um, because I'm on my phone, right? Yeah, there it is. You hear people saying they've been saying this for 3 years, 4 years. What have you done for black people? What have you done for black people? But I didn't hear any of those people bring up that American Rescue Plan. I didn't hear any of the people that said that bring it up at all. So it's very interesting because it's almost like maybe they knew about it, but don't want to say it because they don't want to advertise it. So they just say it in a
hmm
different way. What have you done? What has he done for black people? But that doesn't mean they're going to tell you what they know that Biden has done. So it's like you said, it's
hmm
a narrative. You know, we can't think that these people don't know that how much they've done. The point is
hmm
they don't want to talk about how much they've done. That's what's going
hmm
on. They know. They probably know. They more know no more than us. A lot of these people. I'm not talking about the trolls on YouTube because a lot of them don't know a damn thing. But I'm talking about these right wingers. They're the
hmm
ones putting out the narrative to the trolls. You know, they the right wingers with the money, the campaign, the Trump and the MAGA. They put the message out, and then the trolls go spread the message. You know what I mean? But the trolls aren't aware that I don't think the trolls are totally aware that no, the MAGA folks and Trump folks, they know that the Biden and Harris damn, what did they call it? My
Administration.
administration, thank you. They know that the Biden and Harris administration is out to do things for the people and has been
hmm
doing shit for them. They know that. They're so terrified of it they don't even want to mention any of that. They put out another narrative. What have you done? Well, you're the one
hmm
fighting them every day to stop them from doing anything. Look at this court
hmm
case. You see what I mean? They fought Biden and Harris from doing anything tooth and nail.
hmm
Every step of the way they fought against them doing things. Even this rescue plan for farmers. You know, it's them fighting it. And you know what's so funny? That's so interesting, like, because it just exposes a weakness, and it's not just a black male or a certain demographic of black people that might make that error. There's I've seen some Hispanics say it, right? We've seen
Mm.
some of many different types of people say this kind of crazy stuff. What have they done? Or, it's like, what are you talking about? What have they done? You're not even paying attention. Every time they try to do something, someone else is trying to stop them.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it's that bad. It's that bad. But it's almost like these people don't see that somebody's trying to stop them. They don't see the court cases. They're not aware of how it plays out, or they don't talk about it. They don't know the dynamics, how it really works, or they don't talk about it. They don't see them being fought against. They forget everything Biden and Harris try to do, it gets fought in Congress. And then if they
Yeah. Or
win and
they don't
pass it in
care.
Congress, then it gets fought in the Senate. It only wins by
Mm.
one vote, by the way. A lot of the stuff, right? 2 or 3 votes, and they're lucky enough Biden is able to get a couple of Republicans, because if he couldn't get a couple of Republicans, which is rare in any case, nothing would get passed. Everything that's been passed, a lot of the stuff that's been passed is by one vote. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but that's Kamala. But that's her tying vote. That's how it's getting passed. She's the tiebreaker.
Exactly.
The
Yep.
the Republicans have denied. There are so many things that they have denied. And this last one, that was that one where they were talking about the uh, making the insulin only $35. Every single
Hmm.
senator Republican voted against that, and every
Hmm.
Democrat voted for it, and she was the tiebreaker.
Hmm.
So I mean, they can say all they want to say, and why people want to fight against their own interest, vote against their own interests, mind-boggling. Even poor white people, why would you vote against your own interests? Why? I mean, because
White people
they
do
want
it
to
every
compare
day.
it to us because they're constantly comparing white folks to black folks. So I'm not going to even talk about the other people because the conversation is always about black people, right? How
Right.
we can disparage black people. So I'm going to keep it at black and white. We know everybody else is in the middle, so I'm going to keep it at black and white because that's where the arguments always come in at. Anytime they try to do something for, they say black people, the other people get up in arms more than everybody else, right? So I'm
Exactly.
not understanding why poor white people would vote against their own interests. That's another, but that's that thing again. Pit them, pit one us against the other to keep us divided so they can get what they want. I'm not saying the whole government is all this, but I call them government gangsters, Wall Street whores, and pimp preachers. Those are the three big conglomerates that hold a people down. If you don't have the right government, you're not going to get the good outcome. If you don't have the right people on Wall Street, we're going to be raped and getting our money taken out of our pockets. And if you don't find a good religious, whatever atmosphere to get yourself into, they will try to take your money as well. All those three agencies overall, when you depending on who's in office, has been trying to take money out of our pockets. And enough is enough. It's we the people, we're the ones who make the country what it is. And somehow they want us to be slaves to these multi-rich people who can't take a penny of it with them when they go under the ground. But for some reason they don't want anybody else to have that. It is just why people do that, vote against their own interests. Why would a woman want if they are denying health care? We can forget about the abortion. It's just health care. There are
Yeah.
things that are harder for us to get as women. We have breasts that men have them, but we are more prone to get breast cancer than a man. We're more prone to get we got uteruses and we got ovaries. We got all these things in our bodies that we're more prone to have issues with. That fool over there is trying to get rid of all this stuff. Why? Why would anybody want to vote against your own interest? Do you know what kind of harm you're
Trying to
putting
kill
yourself
it.
in harm's way? Are you seriously?
Yep.
Oh, mind-boggling. Mind-boggling.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. It's that simple, and you said it very well. It's sad, but you're saying it. You're seeing people often vote against their own interests, be duped. I think intellectually, essentially, they're allowing people to frame arguments and fool them instead of just looking at the text, for what it is, you know. So they're allowing people to spook them, you know, and that it's that simple. I mean, I mean, that's really what it is. Can you imagine that they would be so scared um, through racial tropes and things like that being used that they would actually vote against free lunch program for poor white kids? You know what I'm saying? It's like just because they think
Exactly.
some black kids gonna get it or Hispanics gonna get it. But what about the white kids that need it too? Nope.
Hmm.
Nah, no, 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 no. It's just not that way. It's insane, and it goes to show you it's better to pay people to go to school. Um,
Hmm.
because after a generation or two, everybody is going to be, how can I say this? They're going to be more the way they will come to think is going to be more in line with how things work. You see what I mean? Right? Because they have structure. They're used to structure. They're being educated about processing, how processes work and things like that on a level that is applied everywhere in all aspects of life professionally. You see what I mean? So
Hmm.
you know, but right now you're dealing with people that a lot of these poor white people, man, they're really just poor white people. They're not educated. They haven't had a chance either to be civilized. I
But
mean,
the
I
but
hate
the
to say
thing
it.
but the thing they'll say, at least I'm not black, because they
They
know
will
what
say that.
they know what it is. They'll say, at least I'm
Yes,
not black. And the reason why they
yeah,
don't care about not giving it to poor white people is because they know if they give it to poor white people, they got to give it to poor black people. That's all that is. You
right.
know.
Now, and I've seen it too because when I look at here, like where I'm at in Denmark, you know, everybody has access to school, whatever kind of education you want. Everybody has access to that, and you're going to get a check too to go, right? But then again, if you look at the society, how people in the society behave, they're a little more reserved. They're
Hmm.
a little more thoughtful, I think. And I'm not saying there's not racism and all or the ignorant people here too. That's everywhere. But I mean, generally speaking, the approach is a little more thorough, you know, like it would be for a person that is used to writing reports, you know, compiling information, processing things, you know, this kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's yeah, you know. But in any case, let's see. This was on the news earlier today. Let's check this out. I
Farmers.
hope it
In
plays. Let me see.
1920, according to federal data, there were about 925,000 black farmers in America, or about 14% of all farmers. A century later, there were only about 42,000, or about 1%. Much of that is a legacy of systemic discrimination in Agriculture Department programs. Ali Rogan reports on how the Biden administration is trying to help farmers who have been historically excluded from government assistance programs.
Today, black farmers own less than 1% of U.S. farmland, according to the Agriculture Department's latest farmer census. But efforts are underway to help these farmers reclaim their lost land. Last month, the USDA issued over $2.2 billion in payments to black and other minority farmers across the country. It's a move the department hopes will offset decades of discrimination these farmers faced when trying to secure loans. John Boyd is the founder and president of the National Black Farmers Association. Mr. Boyd, thank you so much for joining us. You yourself are a fourth-generation farmer. I'd like to ask you about the discrimination that you personally have faced over the course of your career.
The discrimination that I faced was more in-your-face, blatant type of discrimination that many black farmers in the area experienced. You know, I was called the N-word. I was spat on. I had my application torn up and thrown in the trash can in front of me. And this person that was responsible for making farm loans in my local county office would only see black farmers on Wednesday. So we named it Black Wednesday. When white farmers came in, he would bring them in, service them. And one particular year, this farmer Earl, he passed him a check for $157,000 in front of me after he told me, a qualified borrower, that he wasn't going to lend me $5,000 of his money. This farmer walked out the door and he said, "Hey, Earl, I need you to come back in and and fill out them papers because I used last year's numbers to make this loan. So here, this farmer hadn't even applied, and he didn't even process my loan application there in front of me. That type of discrimination put thousands of black farmers out of business. We've lost millions of acres of land because of blatant discrimination that we faced for decades. This went on for decades, unchecked by Congress, president after president. I visited with every president since Jimmy Carter to talk about discrimination that black farmers faced in this country. So a very, very long time.
And as you mentioned, these are systemic issues that happened all over the country for farmers like yourself. And of course, many farmers, yourself included, feel that these payments have been well overdue. Tell me about the journey that it's taken to get to this point.
There you have it. Yeah, and that is on PBS. They did a hour long, or no, what is it, half an hour, 30-minute special on that. That's just within the last 24 hours. So people should check it out. Spread the word, have conversations about it, ask questions about it. Don't just say, well, that was too late. He should have done that a long time ago.
Okay, they know that fool wasn't attempting to do that.
Trump could have done it. How come Trump ain't do that? You know what I'm saying? He could have got his Supreme Court to back it too, if he believed in it, right? He could have got his right wing Supreme Court, Republican court to back it. You see?
Yeah. What did Biden just do?
Friends. Huh?
Yeah, what did Biden just do recently that fool said, well, I could have done that, and then they asked Biden about that, and he said, well, why didn't he do it then? He brags about all this stuff. Yeah. He's still hollering about getting the wall. He was like, oh, I already built the wall. I'm like, no.
He was talking about the hostages. Trump was dissing him about, was saying, he was talking about the hostages, trying to diss Biden for how he got the hostages out. And what Biden said was, well, how come you didn't do it?
Yeah.
Do it your way. How come you didn't get it done then?
Yeah.
And Trump could have got them back. Them back. He just didn't get enough for it, but he could have got them back the way Trump done made it so much of a fool of the United States of America. Everybody would do him a favor now. Sure, Putin's gonna be like, man, you know what? This one's on me. Here you go, you damn
He's selling us up the river. They don't even want to see that. Yeah. He's selling us up the river. He'll do anything for a price. And I don't know why people are not seeing that. It's just like I said, it's just mind-boggling to me. I'm just like, I'm not saying, stuff doesn't happen in the Democratic Party either, but it's just blatant. He's telling you straight up every day, what he plans on doing, how he plans on doing it. Because he doesn't care. He's not gonna be saying, I'm gonna be a dictator for one day. Oh, you better not. Don't believe that for a minute. He's gonna, whatever he said he's gonna do, he's gonna do that. Y'all better wake up and stop playing.
Yeah, because if you give him the slack, if you keep giving him the slack, why wouldn't he? He already learned that he can get away with it. He already learned that. Oh, okay, you don't care if I do this. You're gonna applaud me if I do that. Okay, well then let me do some more of it.
Yeah.
And so it's terrible.
I sent you a link a few days ago that you can go look at everything that he proposed and everything they passed while he was during his administration. And some of that stuff is so appalling. You just wish you could just. It's just people need to go in and look at that. But it's for every day they tried. I mean, whatever they tried to do or succeeded in doing, whatever laws passed, not passed. There's stuff out there that just you don't want to get mad, but you do.
You know something? Yeah. I didn't see that, or did I see it? Let me see.
Yeah, I don't know if I sent it under, but if you don't have it, I'll send it to you, because I know I sent it to you because it was just too much. But it goes from the day he became president till he got out, all the things that they wanted to do and the things that they did do. And it's just not. I don't know where these folks come off. We give $300,000 or $3 million to the HBCUs. All that money did not go to the HBCUs. Did not. I mean, all the stuff he claims he did for black people is like, stop lying. Stop
Yeah,
lying. You have
yeah,
done nothing.
yeah. I that's true. I understand what you mean, right? Because even though what he gave something like, is it 16 or no 22 million, and Biden
Yeah.
16 billion. But even out
Yeah.
of that 22 million that Trump gave, all of that wasn't even to HBCUs. They
Yeah.
just throw
He
the
let
number
one
out
person
there.
out of prison. But he said that if he
Yeah.
gets in office, he's going to let all those insurrectionists out. I mean, I mean, damn well wouldn't happen for you. Wouldn't happen. It's just
Hmm.
ridiculous. It's just I'm sorry. I try when it comes to stuff like this and knowing what we're up against and continually here and I know family members and everything that are on want to vote for that fool over there. And when you hear how bad this stuff is and how bad it could be, it's again I'm not understanding how anybody would want to just they want to make this about abortion. It's not about abortion. Abortion was to keep their white women from having them because they want them to have babies. No problem with us having babies. The last I checked, we still having babies left and right. But it was for them, but they had to include everybody
Yeah, but
in that process.
black women have a lot of health complications in giving birth and things like that. They know that through the data. So they're
Hmm.
cutting off access to healthcare is like setting a lot of women up for murder to die, you know,
Hmm.
further
Hmm.
health complications, and I think that's a result of failure, in the black community, black men need to support black women. And I mean, not that you can't support any woman, but you need to also understand your own community and the reality of, and America needs to understand that. The reality is that black women face a lot of health crises, a lot of health issues with something as simple as giving birth. It's not like what you would think. So,
Hmm.
um, you know, to try to tell them we'll cut back on services that they need, make it more difficult for them to get access to services is like, to health services is like, it's murder. They know
Hmm.
what they do. They know what they're doing. It's really sinister, and I just wish more Americans were up on it. But but we're not. All Americans are not up on what's going on. We a lot of Americans. First of all, what percentage of Americans vote, right?
Yeah.
And I would say that kind of the percentage of people that are not is knowledgeable about these topics but vote on them is also very high. You know, it's crazy. It's sad. I'm not saying they win the voting all the time, but they impact the society a lot through ignorance. You know, and it's like you said, they turn it into abortion. But for they want white women to have babies, right? But for black women having abortions, it's not as simple as they don't want to have a baby, but they try to apply that logic to them too. No, there's
Hmm.
a lot of other issues going on. All those other issues are going on. If you could think of any other group of women having issues, then when you think of black women, you can just add all those issues up and apply it to black women. You know what I'm saying? Multiply it because they're having these issues too. And it's sad to see that black men don't support it, aren't intelligent enough to understand it. They think
Hmm.
they think abortion is always, you just went out and got pregnant and you just don't want to have a child. Simple. You're gonna get, it's like, no man, what's going on in black women's bodies is way deeper than that, bro. Like
Hmm.
it's way deeper than that. So what about you want a fetus to get stuck in a woman's body? Is that what you want? You want it to be stuck in her tubes? Is that what you want? You want it to be like, it's so many different ways that stuff can go. I mean, just look at the data. But
Hmm.
but
There.
again, I mean, there was a woman who had a dead baby. The baby died because they wouldn't give her an abortion. the fetus died in her womb and she couldn't even get it out, and she almost died from the chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
wouldn't take the baby out, the dead baby.
Yeah.
They wouldn't take it out. That's
Yeah.
abortion too, you know.
Yeah.
But they don't see it that way, you know. They're not getting that. You know, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm. And there's a story of a black couple that that were having a baby, and the baby, I guess the shoulders didn't come out like they were supposed to, and they used force to try to pull that baby by the head, and the baby's head, I don't know if the baby's head came off or they just broke the baby's neck or whatever, but they didn't tell that family. They kept trying to get that family to sign off, and they're like, we want to see our baby, we want to see our baby, we want to see our baby, but they wouldn't bring that baby close enough to the window for them to see that that baby was not, what had happened to them. And they had, they finally, found out and had to sue the hospital and everybody else that was involved. They kept trying to hide the fact that they killed that baby. I mean, it's just nonsense all the time. And then these folks want to sit back and not want to see what this next, if he gets in, what potential damage and harm is going to be done to us specifically, and then the rest of the people, globally or nationally. It's just sickening.
Yeah.
But if it came to, I'm going to say this, and I just, gonna sound cruel, but if it came to your penis, would you do that? I'm just asking.
I mean, I think that's what the part that a lot of which is really sad. It's really sad because it is, again, very ignorant. A lot of men don't realize that, first of all, you would want to, you have the right to do things to your body so you can't have a baby. Men have the right, but what do you call that? Is that is that reproductive health?
That's exactly what that is. Exactly.
It's reproductive health, and but men want the right to reproductive health for themselves, but they want to define what that should mean for a woman without even knowing, without even considering half of what it is to be a woman.
What if they said? What if they said to men, if you have prostate cancer, we're just gonna to keep the cost down, we're just gonna cut your penis off? Do you think they would agree with that? I don't think so. I mean, to keep the cost down, we don't have to do any radiation. You ain't got to do any kind of chemo. We just cut your penis off, so you don't have that cancer there no more. They go running. They wouldn't tell nobody they got that. I guarantee you. They can have all kind of problems with it, but you ain't gonna know about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying, they want to legislate, what happens between our legs, but it's your stuff that gets there. It's your stuff that comes between our legs. But for some reason, what we do with our stuff is somehow problematic to what causes what happens to us, right? It's crazy. It's just crazy. But anyway, that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah, but I appreciate you for coming out. I mean, we got onto the abortion thing, but it's all coming from the same party.
Yeah,
coming from the same party. So.
Because our part, the Democratic Party is trying to stop that from happening. Stop it from where women could die with a baby in their womb, like you were saying. They're trying to stop that. But the other side is not the same. We're on the same subject. We just brought up the healthcare part of it. Same thing. What are you doing for Black people? That affects Black people. That affects us. Anything that he's trying to push out there is affecting Black people. So all of that, that was just one thing specifically with the farmers, but anything that they're trying to push out there is going to affect Black people in more of a negative way than anything else that, that can be put on the table. Right? So I'm going to let you go.
I feel it. I agree. Yeah, I agree. No, that's what it is. You're right. It goes back to that question. What have you done for Black people? But if you don't know Black people yourself, just because you Black don't mean you know Black people, first of all. And just because you're Black yourself doesn't mean you're aware of what's going on with Black people. So when they ask that question, well, what have you done for Black people? It's like, damn, man, wake the hell up. Like, why don't you wake up and pay attention? It may not only be, but can you legislate something for only one group of people? Is it lawful? Or is the court going to find it lawful to legislate? That's the problem we're having today with the courts. court views certain things, and it's been that way for a long time, depending on certain topics. It hasn't always been that way about abortion, but it's been contentious, the legal arguments, and it flip flops, right? But in terms, and it's flopped again, right? With the abortion thing, it's flopped now. But in terms of the racial thing, man, the United States and racial justice and reparation regarding that, or even any type of rescue plan, anything. Look at that. If you call it reparation, the answer is no. If you call it a rescue plan, the answer is no. If you call it, you see what I mean? You could, so there's people, the right wing is being very contentious in trying to stop anything that the left does for minorities, including Black people. Any type of framing, they're trying to fight against it. So it's idiotic to ask, well, what have you done for Black people, Biden? Man, you're not even following the fight. If you was following the fight, you would know what you would know how silly that question is, but
hey, BB, let me ask you, do you recall, so I heard that, I always call him that fool over there, say, now he used to say, we got people coming, we got immigrants coming in from Mexico, but I just recently heard him include Africa in that. Have you heard him do? I don't recall hearing him saying Africa before. Immigrants, illegal immigrants coming in. I've heard him say,
actually,
but
no, because I didn't hear it yet, because Trump be on so many damn rants. Every day he's got a new rant. It's
now
like,
it's Africa.
How did I miss this one? He done added. He's back to the shithole countries again. Damn, I thought he gave that up. It's like, nope.
And if you look,
but look, he's breaking apart. He is breaking back apart, because he settled down for a minute. He just settled with Mexicans again. The Mexican border was enough. Hispanics was enough. But see, now since the convention, right? That's not enough anymore. That's not getting he's not getting the attention from that Mexican border anymore. It's not enough. So he's trying to do something new. So he's back to Africans. Africans are laughing at goddamn Trump. They don't want to come to America. Nobody wants to come to America. They're coming because they're looking for a better option, because shit is fucked. That's it. It's not because they want to, and this guy is just trying to offend anybody that that is actually working with the willing to work with the United States. He wants to offend people that's willing to work with the United States, one way or the other, whether they're African, whether they're South American, Central American, whether they're whether they're East Europeans, Asians. He's willing to offend anybody who has been willing at one time or another to work with the U.S. on trade or anything else. He's just a destructive person. He's a destructive person, but I would like to see it. As a matter of fact, I'm just getting the hang of doing StreamYard on my phone now, and doing the videos on my phone. So I have a better way to do it now. So I'm gonna start. It's going to be easier for me to do the videos. Before I was doing another process with the videos. The little shorts that I play, or the excerpts from television programs that I play. I was doing that in a slightly different way that did today. Like when I played that video, that was a new method. So I'm going to use more of that method for a little bit, the new method, because it's more convenient. Yeah. So I'm going to have more stuff available to play on the phone it's going to be easier. So I don't know if I said that right, but in any case, I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate everybody that came out. And all the people that's been coming through listening to the replay. I appreciate y'all. Like and subscribe. And if you haven't noticed, there's a web shop up there. It's called Azonto Apparel. Go to it and check something out, and leave a comment about some of the things that you like, and then I can shoot anybody a discount code from there. But Andrea, once again, thanks for coming up and adding your insightful commentary. A lot of people don't know Andrea follows the news every day. So we like the news over here. We like to talk about the news. I like to read the news. I like to watch the news, and then I like to discuss it and see what people think about it. So if you're that kind of person, you're welcome over here any day of the week. So Andre, you're one of those people. So I'm always here with you. You and Bev. So yeah, but I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you. Everybody else, y'all be good. Everybody have a good Sunday. All right.
All right.
Okay, peace out. One. Bless. See ya.
Yes, yo, we going out. We gonna keep moving it just like that. Yeah. This is kind of like a prayer going out to all the peeps close to me and dear to me, the ones that's been there for my whole life, the ones that came later in my life. I appreciate all the blessings God has given me, and I want to repay it to you like this. Clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. Introducing. This is the joint where we give shout outs to all the peeps, you know what I'm saying? You know we couldn't do this joint without spreading some love to the ones. Yo, check it. Yeah.
You're quite hostile. You're quite hostile. You're quite hostile. You're quite hostile.
I will give y'all everything.